Hi everyone, welcome to my channel again. In this video, I'll be doing two examples. To answer these two questions, you actually need to have some basic knowledge of the law of integral indices. There are actually quite a few laws, but some of them are more important. I think these five here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are the more important ones. So later on when I work on these examples, I will tell you which law I'm using, okay? So without further ado, let's start working on question number 1. So this is question number 1. As you can see, there are actually multiple variables in this formula. You have A, you have B, and you have C. When you have to simplify a formula like this with multiple variables, I suggest you to simplify it using a 4-step approach. The 4 steps are 1, 2, 3, 4. The first step is get rid of the brackets. The second step is grouping. Third step is consolidate. And the fourth step is clean up. The first step is get rid of the brackets. So this formula here, you can see there are actually some round brackets, and we don't like round brackets. We want to get rid of them. So looking at this round bracket, a cubed times b to the power minus 1 c squared, and then outside there's a square. How do we get rid of this round bracket? We can actually apply this law number 5, when a times b to the power m is equal to a to the power m times b to the power m. So we can bring this 2 inside the bracket, and then we can multiply the index 3 times 2, minus 1 times 2, and 2 times 2. Okay, I'll quickly show you. So a cubed squared, it becomes a to the power 6. b minus 1 squared, it becomes b to the power minus 1 times 2. So that becomes minus 2. c squared and then square. So it becomes 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay? And then we have a times c to the power 4 here. So let's look at the denominator. We do the same thing. We apply law number 5. We bring the 4 inside to each of these variables. So a minus 1 to the power 4, it becomes a to the power minus 4. b squared to the power 4, it becomes power 8. c squared to the power 4, so it becomes to the power 2 times 4. So it is 8. Okay? Do we still have any more brackets? Yes, we do. We still have one round bracket here. So let's get rid of it. How do we get rid of it? So we have a to the power 6, b to the power minus 2, and then c. Okay? We have a c to the power 4 times c to the power 4. So now we can apply law number 2 here. Because when we have the same variable, okay, c here, and we have c to the power 4 times c to the power 4, so it will be like this. It will become c to the power 4 plus 4, applying law number 2. So we haven't done anything on the denominator yet, so we'll just write the same thing here. I'm going to keep working on it here. Do we have any more brackets for step number 1? No, we don't have any more brackets, so we move on to step number 2. Step number 2 requires some grouping. What does it mean? It means grouping the same variables together. Meaning group A together, and then group B together, and then group C together. So it will become like this. A to the power 6 divided by A to the power minus 4. Okay, so we group A together. So next we group the B together. So it will become B to the power minus 2 divided by b to the power 8. And then we group the c together. C to the power 4 plus 4 is what? Is 8. So c to the power 8 divided by c to the power 8. Okay? So now we can do some quick simplification. We can see there's a c to the power 8 in the numerator and c to the power 8 in the denominator. So they cancel each other out. What we're left with is some a and some b. Okay? So now we have to do some consolidation. What does it mean? It means we do this. So we're looking at this a here. We have a to the power 6 here. Okay? But we have an a to the power negative 4 in the denominator. So applying law number 3, if we want to bring something from the denominator to the numerator, all we have to do is to negate the index. So if it is m, it becomes minus m. In other words, if it is minus m, it becomes m. So you just have to negate it. So now what we have to do, because we are bringing a to the power minus 4 from the denominator to the numerator, we negate it. Negate basically means subtract minus 4 here, just like that. Okay? And now we look at the b term. So b, negative 2. We want to bring b to the power 8 from the denominator to the numerator. We negate it by subtracting 8 here. Okay? So it's some simple mathematics operation now. 6 minus minus 4. Minus minus double negative means plus, right? So it becomes 6 plus 4. So it's a to the power 10. How about b? Minus 2 minus 8. So that's minus 10. Okay? So we have finished our third step, consolidation. Now we move on to our fourth step, clean up. What does it mean? It means if your answer has any negative index, like here, minus 10, okay, it's a negative index, you cannot have that in your answer. You have to make it a positive index. How do you do it? You can do something like this. So a to the power 10, because it is a positive index, so it's fine. I don't need to do anything about it. I only need to clean up the b term here. So we actually bring the b term from the numerator to the denominator. So it will become b to the power 10. We're actually applying this law here, law number 3. Because any index, if you bring it from the numerator to the denominator, you negate it. Okay, so that's your answer. Okay, now let's work on question number 2. For question number 2, there's only one variable, a here. So it is very different from question number 1. In question number 1, we have 3 different variables, a, b, c, right? So for question number 2, we have to simplify it using a different approach. To simplify this, it actually is simpler than you might think. Because if you think about this, say, I'll give you an example. Say a plus b divided by c. You can actually separate the numerator and make it become this, a divided by c plus b divided by c. I'm basically just splitting the numerator to make it 2 different terms here. So if you look at this question again, this term here, you can think of it as the a here. And this term here, you can think of it as the b here. And this denominator here, you can think of it as c. So we can do the same thing. We can separate the numerators like what I did here. So this becomes 2 terms like this. Both have the denominator a to the power minus 2. Same thing here. Okay. And this term, we put a to the power n minus 2 here. And for this term here, it's a to the power n minus 1. Okay. So now we can see that for this term here, the numerator and the denominator, they are the same. So we can just cancel them out. So it's 1, 1. 1 divided by 1 is just a 1. So the next step will be equals to 1 plus this. But what about this? How can we simplify this term? We can actually use this law again. So anything we have on the denominator, we can bring it up to the numerator. But we have to negate the index. So it will become a to the power n minus 1, which comes from the numerator here. And then subtract what? We have to subtract this whole thing here. We have to subtract n minus 2. So you cannot forget this bracket here. These 2 brackets are very important. This round bracket is very important because it means you are subtracting the whole thing, not subtract n and then subtract 2, okay? So you have to subtract this whole thing here. Okay, so I'll continue to work on it here. So it becomes 1 plus a to the power n minus 1. And you're subtracting this n minus 2 here, so it becomes minus n. And minus times minus is double negative. So it becomes plus 2. So it will become 1 plus a to the power n minus n here. So this minus n and this n cancel out. Minus 1 plus 2. So it is 1. Okay? But you cannot leave your answer like this. You should get rid of this 1 here because a to the power 1 is actually a. So the answer is 1 plus a, and that's your answer.